Lay. Sir. Yeah. Yeah.
Kane is in the building.
Oh, kia ora te whānau, nei mai hoki mai to the Planting Seeds podcast. Just before we get into today's episode, just want to let you all know that the opening for the food trailer is happening this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, here in Whakatane from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Come through if you're around, even if you're out of town, make the drive, all good. But now we're just going to get into this podcast. We're not even going to put any music on. We've got the man who pretty much started the majority of everything that you see online in terms of the podcast, the food trailer. It's the brother, the man, the myth, the legend, Brother Ice. How's it going, brother?
Good, brother. Thanks for having me.
Bro, what do you reckon?
Bro, crazy. We sort of talked about full circle moments, and this is one for you. But to say that I'm proud that I'm a part of that is an understatement. So thanks for having me.
Oh, bro, honestly, I can't even really imagine how much of, or put into words, like how much of a shift that one trip to Sydney really made in me, bro, in terms of confidence, in terms of putting my thoughts into reality, which is like what we're sitting in right now. Like everything that we spoke about in their first podcast, we're literally sitting in it. You know what I mean? It's
I think sometimes you just need to hang around someone and just see it in action live, you know what I mean? And then once you see it, you're like, oh, fuck, that's not that hard.
Yeah.
Oh, I can do that. And I feel like that trip for you was that sort of moment. And yeah, it's been crazy. And right. I think about it like the way I see it, you, like, I'm always in Australia when I come back and I see my nephews. I'm like, oh, you've grown.
Yeah.
Like, I've come back and seen you. Like, obviously, you've not gotten taller or anything like that.
Got some facial hair now.
But I'm like, bro, you've grown. Like, you didn't have a podcast before. You've got your food trailer. You talked about it and you put it into action, which a lot of people can't do. So that's pretty exciting.
Oh, bro, I really do appreciate it, brother. And I think another thing that did come out of that trip was, bro, just realizing, like, bro, you're just like me. Do you know what I mean? And I think the perception that some people put on people that seem to be doing better than them, we don't really like actually see, like, man, they're actually human. Yeah. You know, and just really getting to know you on that level, I think really just instilled what I said, their confidence and their belief in me. Like, man, I'm sitting in the YKTR headquarters, I'm sitting with you on your podcast, and I'm like, fuck, I can do this too. But you gave me that kick up the ass as well as that pat on the back in the same sort of breath, bro. So
yeah, I think Instagram and social media have done a great job in glorifying a lot of things we do. So when we have a photo, what do? Swipe filters, try and make ourselves look a lot better. And everyone wants to show the best versions of themselves. And it's not till you sort of get behind the scenes and you sort of say, oh, like he is like me. Yeah. Or you hang around football players, oh, he's exactly the same as me. But when I look at you and I look at me and our sort of paths in lives, even though we do a lot of things differently, we do a lot of things exactly the same. So you're vegan, I eat meat, you don't drink, I love to drink. Yeah. So like we're different in that sort of sense, but I think we have this enthusiastic passion for life that we hope to share upon people. And we talked about upbringing. You come from Whakatane, I come from Tokoroa, very similar, like half caste as well, you know what I mean? Yeah. That's similar, even though I went to a professional job, a professional sporting outfit, and I felt like this wasn't for me. I didn't belong. Same for you. You went to Australia. You pursued different jobs, and you're like, there's something not right. There's something pulling me in a different direction. And I feel like we've lived very similar lives, even though different towns, different addresses, and stuff like that. Very similar.
Can just definitely just see ourselves in one another.
100%.
In a sense, you know. And I think, like you said, I'm vegan. You eat meat, but I think we just really vibe on the same level and a whole bunch of other things, which makes us really relatable to one another. But in terms of like that last conversation we had when I was in Sydney to now, bro, what are some of the major highlights that you can sort of talk about just in your own journey?
For me personally?
For you personally.
Plenty of lessons. When did you come over? What month was that?
May.
So yeah, at the time I was trying to start probably too much things. I was like an investor in probably about 4 or 5 different businesses. I get like people coming up to me offering equity in their business. So I sort of was feeling myself a little bit too much. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, oh shit, I've done this. Like I can do that as well. And I spread myself too thin, and I sort of lost focus on what's been good for me, which is being YKTR. We spoke about this yesterday. None of this happens if I don't build a clothing company. Like no one listens to what I say if I've got nothing to point back to. They're saying like you never trust a skinny chef or like an oversized PT trying to give you you advice. It's like a guy trying to like tell a girl how to like be pregnant. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So
right.
if you don't have this type of leverage in some way, shape or form, and for me it was building YKTR, and I sort of lost sight of that, even though our business is growing and we continue to grow, but I feel like I could have been a lot better in that sense, because I understand that if there's no YKTR, there's no ice, there's no the ice project, like people aren't coming up to you, people aren't thanking you. So I sort of stripped everything right back, focused on keep my main thing, and sort of grew from that. But outside of that, podcast, really happy with how that's going. Exciting.
750,000 downloads.
Yeah, 700. Not quite.
Oh,
soon, hopefully. Yeah. So podcast is growing great. Being able to influence a lot of people, that's probably the most exciting thing. But the thing that excites me the most about that is it's just a byproduct of being myself.
Yeah,
and that's like, and people come up to me, and the biggest compliment I can get is like, you're the same on Instagram as you are in real life, and like that's important to me. That stuff matters to me. So it's a year of growth. So it's been good, exciting, but lessons as well.
And bro, when I look at you, I'm like, bro, you're only just starting,
yeah,
man.
I feel like I'm just starting too. So, I had a podcast with that Mark Boris one time, and outside of the podcast, he goes like, I thought I was killing it because I run in a clothing company, and he goes, I feel like you could do better, and just like sort of walked off and started talking to someone else. But I haven't been able to shake that.
Wow.
And he said that on purpose. Like, people who are successful, they don't waste words.
Yeah, sure.
And I feel like when he said that to me, he sort of throwaway statement at the time, but it's kind of a challenge as well. So, just trying to get better.
Yeah. Bro, that's mean. And I think in terms of you and for what you're saying about YKTR and how that's your reference point, you know, because anyone can share thoughts, and for the first sort of few years of my life or my journey, let's say, bro, I had all the thoughts, but I didn't really have much in terms of something to talk about. I could say I've gone vegan, I can say that I've gone alcohol free, but in terms of having a physical manifestation of something, this right here is it for me, you know, in terms of the trailer. And we're sort of talking earlier that people might assume that my passion is in food, when really, bro, my passion is people, because I really want to serve and help, and I feel that I can. But I feel if I come like, bro, here's some food, what that food actually does for me, it gives me a connection to you. Like, and that's what I really want, and that's what I feel my gift is connecting with people. So, bro, it's just awesome to see that you're only starting, and now that I've reached this point, it feels like, damn, it's starting for me.
Yeah, 100%.
Bro, and I showed you like earlier, I'm going to pull it out, man. Like, I haven't even shared it on Instagram or anything, bro, because I was waiting for this opening. But I saw Ice. Oh, where is it? I saw Ice at the end of last year sort of show what he does. And it was like he writes his goals out on a piece of paper and he put it in his wallet. And I watched one of his vlogs or one of his posts, and he said that he looked at it every single day. And after I looked at that post, I added Ice's name to my list. And this is the list, Te Whānau, those of you looking. This is it here. And on that list, there was get a new vehicle, get the food trailer, start a podcast with 15 episodes, run every single day, speaking as well as doing catering events. And after I saw Ice's post, I wrote Ice's name, because every single year I always want to meet someone who has influenced my life. And now sitting here across from the man who actually done this, bro, like everything on this list is fucking achieved.
That's
you know?
crazy.
Like, bro,
that's crazy.
Like, and for me, bro, maybe something you can sort of talk about, because I only recently learnt about this, was opportunity cost. Because after meeting you, everything just got put into motion, but I prolonged the process of doing this food trailer, and essentially that's wasted 6 months of potential growth.
100%. So opportunity costs in terms of economics is the next best alternative foregone, ceteris paribus. So ceteris paribus means all other factors remain unchanged. So in layman's terms is your second option. So if you do one thing, there's always going to be a consequence. So if you go out with your mates, that's taken away from you time getting better as a football player. That's taken away time from you doing something. So everything you do in life, there's an opportunity cost. So what you got to do in life is understand like what you want to focus on, and almost just sort of nail it down to it. So we talked about you. So after we've done a podcast with you in May, I was like, well, I would start a crowdfunding thing, because I know people will support you. And I read it in one of my comments, and everyone's like, I would have donated. And I hit you up. I said, bro, do it now, like strike while the iron's hot. And you're like, oh, no. And I understand why, because we come from a place where you don't really ask people for money, or people don't have money to talk about money or to give it away. But I could just see it sort of happening straight away. And I reckon if you'd done it straight off the back of that podcast, you potentially could have made more.
Yeah.
And then you come to me whenever it was, and you're like, oh, I'm thinking about crowdfunding in December. Fuck, it's too slow, bro. Do it today. Do it today. Because like you said, you prolonged 6 months. Like, you could have had this trailer 6 months ago. You could have impacted that many more people's lives, even though I know you are going to impact people's lives and deliver a great message and help people do what they want to do. But there's 6 months gone. You know what I mean? Anything could have happened in that 6 months. So we always talk about in our private messages, speed kills, and we're both Gary Vee advocates. Pump out as much content as you can. And same with like goals. Like you might as well just go for them straight away, because you don't want to start like 2 years from now. And the thing I like about you, Rans, you're like, even though you listen to my advice, you actually put it into action as well. And all I'm saying is the same shit that Gary Vee's saying. So I'm not like this fucking mystical being. You know what I mean? I'm just saying what people who are smarter than me have said, and just translating it into a term that people can understand. And we spoke about this. You said Gary Vee can only take you so far. For me, I feel like he could take me all the way. But I think I'm able to break down the concepts that he's been able to say and deliver it to a message, and deliver it in a package and in a message that other people can understand. And I understood that pretty early when I started listening to content, or like courses. People like, oh, you can get a house in the Hollywood Hills. I'm like, I haven't been to LA yet. Like, you know what I mean? Get a Ferrari. Like, I just need a normal car. I'm good. So that sort of stuff didn't really resonate with me, but I was able to take that message and sort of break it down. And I learned that through having Chico and Corey as friends.
Right.
And why is because I was really big into reading, and I got a kick out of saying, like, I've read 100 books. It was a cock measuring thing. It was an ego. It was a status thing. So it's like how much can you bench press? All that sort of stuff that doesn't really matter, status games. And I used to say it to them and like lose their interest like that. Like, I couldn't capture their attention. And I thought, oh, let me relate it to circumstances that they can understand. Let me relate it back to football. Let me relate it back to like chasing girls. Let me relate it back to gambling. And once I break down these concepts that they could understand, they understood business.
Yeah, right.
So I heard that Robert Kiyosaki say, if you can't explain it to an 8-year-old, you don't understand the subject. And that's the sort of philosophy I live by. Like, I can understand business concepts because I've gone through them, but then I can break it down into a circumstance that people can understand or relatable. And I feel like that's what sort of makes, like, that's why I've been able to do what I've been able to do and get 700,000 listens and like not beg for people to jump on my podcast, but have them go, can I jump on? Like, beg to jump on and not have to pay them, because I've got the leverage of I can help their brand grow as well. So that's been exciting,
bro. Honestly, and I take everything that you say so like personal in a way, you know, because bro, like everything that you've said, everything that I've put into practice, something great has come from it. You know, exactly. And I think it's because you see something in me, and for me sometimes I don't see that in myself, although I know it's there. Just getting that pat on the back or the kick up the ass really just pushes me to fucking step into those shoes that I know I can be in. And like you said, bro, like I listen to Gary Vee, Tony Robbins, all these amazing people, and they definitely stimulate this sort of belief of myself, but it can only take me sort of certain far. And I think it's just because that's the level that I'm at the moment, and not that it's about hierarchy or anything like that, but we all take in messages differently. Like, bro, I've got a partner, you know, my fiance, bro, I can say some really encouraging, uplifting things to her, and she can just tell me to shut the fuck up, you know? But if you say it to her, the exact same thing.
Oh, but I say this shit all the time, man.
She'll be like, oh, wow, that's amazing. I'm like, what the heck? So it really does come down to who's delivering the message. And I feel that's what's going to make us sort of move, or certain people. You know what I mean? Do you vibe with that?
100%. Yeah. And like, you're spot on. Like, I've got a girlfriend, obviously you met her as well. And like, I could say anything about business, and she won't take a bar of it. Yeah. Like, I've got people flying over to come see me. Like, I should be paying you for consulting. I just cheer up for stuff like that. But yeah, it's like, depends where it comes from. And sometimes you don't want to hear it from the person closest to you. So, like, and I understand that as well. Like, my girlfriend tells me stuff. I'm like, you don't know.
But there's so many times though, bro, where Hinepani has given me advice and I didn't take it, but I got to go back with my tail between my legs and be like, shit, you're right.
And like, being a man and saying that you're right is like that's an important part of growing up as well.
Bro.
And I think we're both at I think why we've been able to succeed in how you determine success. I determine success by happiness.
Right.
I feel like you're happy. Am I right?
Yeah.
I'm happy. Like we might not have like the monetary or the financial things behind us that people associate with success or the fancy cars, but like I feel like we're a lot happier than a lot of other people. And the way I measure it is like when I wake up in the morning, that first 10 seconds, I'm like, fuck, let's go. Like, I'm excited to get up. I watched my girlfriend get up. She's like, oh, like, I have to go to work. So like I determine success like that. So I just rambled then. What were we talking on?
We were talking about shit. I don't know. I got lost with you, bro.
What was it? Oh, it's gonna annoy me now. Oh, excuse.
Shit, what were we talking about? We were definitely talking about partners and people that share messages. Yeah.
So I feel like that's where we're relatable because like we're happy. Oh fuck, I don't know where I'm going now. I've lost my train of thought. I'm lost it.
Let's go.
Mean podcast.
Mean. But nah, bro, like one of the questions that did come through now that we're in this sort of like business spaces, one, how do you start? What are some of the first challenges? And I think for me, the first thing was around finances. So how do you sort of, because YKTR got into a bit of shit really, in the first year or so when it came to accounts and stuff?
Yeah, so what you got to understand about business, like people see like, I want to start a clothing company. They see, designing clothes. They think that's a business, but it's actually not. There's three parts of a business. There's operations, there's marketing and sales, and there's accounting and finance. So you got to think of the triangle. If it's like a triangle, if one of them's off, like your whole triangle falls down, and that's your business falling down. So I was really good at sales and marketing. I can market myself, like I can market our brand really well. We get sales. Like we've never struggled with sales. Once I figured out operations, what operations is how your business runs in the back end, right, without you being there. So I was spending all my time packing orders and that. And it wasn't until I got a mentor. He goes, no, you need to do that into 3PL, which is like they ship for you. So got rid of that, opened up some time. The next part was accounting. Like we don't talk about accounting growing up. We didn't even talk about money. So we got to a point where about a year and a half in, hadn't lodged a tax or a BAS or anything. Like didn't even know what it was. And we actually got a really good accountant who tidied all that sort of stuff up. So like the finance side, like when you said I want to start a business, I feel like the most important part is branding. So branding trumps all. Off the back of that brand, and we talked about you today. You will become a personal brand, but everything builds off the back. So you got your food trailer, but there's you as well. So you brand that as much as you can, and you give away as much free stuff as you can. And it doesn't always have to be like, say for us, we didn't ever give away free clothes at the start, but we gave away free content. Right. And it was valuable content in the other form of entertainment or education. If you can either do one of those two things, you're going to get an audience. You're going to garnish an audience. So I look at a lot of clothing companies now, and they're just catalogs. It's just another, like, I don't feel anything about, even though I'm in it, like I'll happily buy other people's clothes. I buy Artie Severe's clothes because I believe in him. I believe in the founder. I believe in the message. So the branding part of it is the most important part. And when I talk about branding, like we could have two wallets here. One could be Balenciaga or Gucci. The other one could be from the warehouse. They cost exactly the same to make, but you're paying $500 for this. You're paying $5 for this. And that's the difference between branding. So I think Gary Vee talks about branding trumps all. And when you're starting a business, that's the most important part. And then finance is important, but branding's more important, I feel.
Branding. And how does, like, bro, there's so many people, like you talk about it, either written, audio or video. Like, does that just come down to self-awareness?
Self-awareness, understanding where you come from. So when we started vlogging, everyone's like, I want to do a vlog. And they're making vlogs, but they weren't charismatic in front of a camera. And they were going, oh, do you like it? And I was like, oh, yeah, it's okay. Like, I feel like you might be better written. So understanding where your strengths lie. Like, people look down on written content, but you got to think, like, have you heard of a book called Harry Potter?
Yeah.
That's written content. A book's written content. Like people are reading every single day. And your written content doesn't have to be a massive book. It could just be your caption in your Instagram. So if you take time into that. So I feel like you write really good captions, and that's what engages audiences as well. Yeah. I can write like a decent caption when I take the time to do it. But understanding where your strength lies. I like podcasts because it sort of, you can knock out all three.
Yeah.
So you've got the audio, you've got on the podcast, you've got a video here, which is probably going to go on YouTube. And then you could get someone to break down you could take this whole podcast and turn it into 5 or 6 different articles as well. So that's why I love podcasts, but I don't feel like everyone's ready for podcasts because I listen to podcasts and everyone's got like a monotone voice and sort of asking the same sorts of questions. So when there's a gold rush, it's just going to be the best content wins.
Yeah, and that's what you're talking about lately, bro.
I talk about that all the time. The best content wins. So it's easy to start a clothing company. You can go down, print letters on a t-shirt. You can start a podcast. Like it's not hard to get equipment and start recording. And then once everyone sort of comes to this, it becomes like a Royal Rumble in wrestling. Like who's the best guy? And like people associate content with Instagram. But content's been around forever. It's just in different mediums. But Titanic, one of the best movies ever. That's content. But at the time, movies was the thing to do. So James Cameron, who made the best movie at the time, he won. Books come along. Harry Potter, she wrote those books. They fly. That's content. Now it's moved towards social media, and it gives people like me and you a chance that are just normal blokes. Now's the best time to go. But then same shit. Whoever makes the best content is going to win.
Right.
And I associate this with YKTL. We're not a technical brand. I've never had a design background. I don't know anything. My passion is not for clothes, how yours is not for food. It's more for business and marketing and helping people. But our base product is so basic, but the storytelling above it is where I feel like my strength lies. And that's why people wear our shit, because I can tell a good story.
Bro, people's brand, man.
Yeah, the people's
brand, man.
We reply to people, so that's important as well. That's 100%. Part of branding.
Bro, when you talk about content, like, I definitely feel my strength is in the caption. And like for me, like I like
you're
a photo.
You're a deep dude,
bro,
man.
I'm just a deep dude, bro, you know. And I feel for me, like if I can just share these thoughts, bro, because I just have this real belief that everyone can relate to something like that, because sometimes we get lost in thought and we sometimes feel like, am I the only one that thinks like this? No. But I started to provide content that people are like, I think exactly like that. You know, so it normalizes that train of thought. And for me, bro, I find extreme comfort down in the deep, you know, bro, because I feel that's where a lot of meaning and a lot of sort of dissecting of the habits that we sort of create and form and why we think the way that we do.
Do you know what I like about writing, bro? It clears your head.
Oh, bro.
Like, you could have the most stressful day, and like you write a caption that's like that, and you're like, oh shit. Like,
feel lights are right.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. You're trying to think, bro, and it's just like, oh, there's nothing up there. And like,
yeah.
fall asleep, you know what I mean? That's the thing I like about content. But do you know where I feel like mine and your strength lies? It's because we like we don't conform to a certain group, but we're kind of like across a few different other ones.
Yeah, right.
So people look at me, they're like, oh, he's from Toke, so he's from a small town. What does he know about business? But he's talking about business. Oh, he played sports, so he knows sports people.
Yeah,
but
right.
he's bagging. He's saying that NRL players are wasting their leverage. Where same as you, like you're a moldy dude. There's negative connotations that come with being moldy.
Yeah.
But then you listen to your talk, and you're like, hey, like, he's getting deep. It's not 3 o'clock in the morning sitting in the back of a garage on the Waikato, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and then like you got vegan, like hey, like a mold. We love meat, like ball up, hungy.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? So you're like this weird little mix of like moldy that can speak really, really well, that's deep, but then there's the vegan, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I heard Naval Ravikant talk about it, say, he said, if you go to a circus and you see a bear, you're like, oh, that's cool. And you go to a circus, you see a guy riding on a unicycle, that's cool. But then if you go to the circus and see a bear riding on a unicycle, you're like, oh shit. So I feel like I'm captivated. So I feel like that's where our strength lies, because like there's a negative connotation towards Tokoro or they're gang affiliated or being Cook Island. Like we don't know people that run businesses, but he's talking about business. You're talking about mental health and the Māori where he's got a high suicide rate. So I think that's where our strength lies. We kind of cover like this. How you perceive us is not what we are. We deliver a different message behind it, but that makes people that perceived us in that way earlier listen. Exactly,
bro. And you're sort of like just going to double back to what you sort of talked about earlier, which is just being true to you. You know,
it's the easiest way, bro. It's the easiest way, yeah.
You know? And for me, bro, it's been like I was listening to Tomorrow from 660, bro. I had that song on repeat, you know, when I was training the other day, bro, and I got really deep in my thoughts about just reflecting about my life. And bro, I still buzz out just how much changes I've actually made. And it really did come down to, bro, just a switch in my mentality. Like for me, I just started to focus on what is the truth? Who am I? You know, and asking these big questions and just not really being able to shake it. You know, I really wanted to know who I was and where I wanted to go or what my purpose was. And I think, you know, you talked about it as well. You just got to ask those real quality questions to really shift the needle.
I always say that, like, so if you are, like, when you hang around smarter people, they ask different questions, which provokes different thoughts. Different thoughts provoke different actions provoke different results.
Right.
Like, you come in over thing, I asked you different questions, and I was sort of half challenge you, like, hurry up.
Yeah.
And like, about 6 months, bro, your whole life can change. This is, bro, you've got this, bro, this is crazy. So, like, the quality of question and the type of people you hang out is so important.
Bro, honestly, and that's why, bro, there's so much amazing people that I've met literally, bro, this year. Like, there's you, there's the brother Jordan, there's Ari Savia, got my brother Dietrich, you know, Hene Collection Media. We're meeting these, like, exceptional people just this year. And when it came to actually getting the crowdfunding for this, it was those people that gave the most money.
Mm.
You know, so it's not like not even people like closest to me gave near as
Oh,
as
bro,
much.
you'll
You know
find
what
that,
I mean?
bro. You'll find
You know,
that. Yeah.
and I'd have nothing against my closest friends or anything like that. But what I'm sort of saying is like the quality of people that you actually attach yourself to, and if you're true to yourself, they are literally going to be there and ride for you and support you in ways that some of your closest friends wouldn't. So, you know, it's such a strange dynamic, but something that is just the way that it is.
Someone sent me a quote the other day, like, sometimes your biggest fans are the people that have never met you.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
sometimes your biggest haters are the ones that are closest to you. It's crazy, yeah. And I'll find that, like, anyone that starts a business, they'll understand, especially in New Zealand, like, you're taught to give. I talk about this all the time. Like, we didn't have anyone to go, oh, bro, like, how did you start a business? But when you start a business, and for me, it's closed, people, bro, hook us up. And like, if you don't give it to them, like, oh, you've changed. Like, you get that sort of your change thing. And I spoke about this on the post. I haven't lived in Toke in 10, 12 years. And people go back to me and like ask me for shit. And I'm just like, nah. Like, my best mates, I'll give them like whatever they want, or like within reason, you know what I mean? And they'll go, you've changed. And I was like, I hope I've changed.
Yeah,
I don't leave this town to stay the same. Right?
Yeah.
So, and I'm comfortable saying no now, which is kind of hard. Like,
that's I've heard some theorists actually talk about the art of saying no.
Yeah.
Bro, that's so difficult, bro. Like, what's your take on it? Where does that come from? Is it just wanting to give, or you feel bad about yourself for saying no? Like,
do you know what, bro? I just got sick of people asking me for shit all the time, especially early on, bro. They're like, hey, bro, hope you're well. Message, I know something's coming here. And like, bro, I love the way you're grinding. I can see you grinding every single day. And then straight away, I know something's coming. Oh, bro, can you hook us up? Like, and because I just kind of got sick of that. And it reminds me of, you know that story, The Little Red Hen?
Nah.
Oh, it's like a little kid's book, and they sort of like they're sewing. Like the little red hen keeps asking people to help them to make the bread, and eventually, as they make the bread, they're like, "Can I ask for some?" And it always reminds me of that story, because bro, they'll see you like grinding your ass off, and it's not until you're in it. See, like I can see you like where I was like a year and a half, 2 years ago. So when you go crowdfund, I'm like, fuck yeah, here's money, because like I believe in you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And like it's just like people want to like give you praise for your work, but they're sort of selfish in the point of asking for something. And and I answer 150, 200 DMs a day, so I'm used. I know what's coming.
Bro, you're committed to that too, bro?
Yeah, it's starting to get like unscalable to the point where, but I've got strategy behind it. I automate a lot of the texts, so people only ask me 5 or 6 things. And I got like, so double Z means something, double X means something, and it just fills out the caption for them. Yeah, so
that's clever, bro.
Yeah, you have to be.
Honestly, for me, sometimes it's just so daunting. Like, you know, when you see those requests just stacking up or the comments just coming in, it actually like consumes so much time, and you just get overwhelmed where you just don't respond to anything. And then again, it just builds up. Like sometimes I got to legit put like tomorrow I'm going to answer to everything.
Yeah, I do that as well. Yeah. So it's been a big part of building our brand. Like how many brands reply? Like send an inbox to Nike, see if you get a reply. Exactly. And so it's been a big part of our process, and I can understand like I talk to people like I would talk to you, like but hey bro, what size is that? And I'm like, hey bro, that's like a large. Like I'm not formal in any way, shape or form. I just trying to make us relatable and humanize.
The thing that I like about the YKTR page and YKTR Media is like, bro, your followers like feel like they're part of the brand, and like they just give so much banter in the comments, and it makes it so much like fun. Sometimes I come to your guys' page just to look at the funny comments. You know, like there's some amazing followers in your guys' community. Yeah,
we're lucky. We've got a really rock solid foundation, and our return customer rate sits around 60%, which is really, really high.
Bro, there's like vintage YKTR tees rolling around now, bro.
So like when I think about we just dropped some kids range as well, and I don't have kids, so but like I seen them on kids, and I was like, and my mind went like 20 years. I want kids to remember, I remember having that YKTR t-shirt. Like, you want to kind of build a nostalgic brand that people can associate themselves with, or make them feel good about themselves. And our motto was inspire change through clothing. Right. Like I've said to just plenty, I don't like clothes, but I use it as a vehicle to do what I want to do. And when I reverse engineer myself, I used to love making content. I used to love making videos. I wanted to start a business, and I wanted to hang around my friends. And YKTR is just the accumulation of all those things. I get to make content as much as I want. Oh, the other one was travel. I own a business. I started a business. I talk about business now. It's one of my passions. My friends, Chico and Corey, they own the business with me. I don't expect them to do anything. People get mad. They're like, oh, do you get mad because you do all the work, but they still ain't? Oh, nah, because like it depends who you look up to. I look up to Gary Vee.
Right.
He's built that up to 70 million. That wine store and left with no equity.
Yeah.
Like, I've got more equity than the boys. I made that decision that this is what our split should be. Do you guys agree? And they said yes. I've made my bed. I've got to lie in it.
Yeah.
And people have, and the reason I started podcasting and sort of going off on this other venture, because people go to me, you wouldn't have made it without
Yeah.
the two boys.
Well, I'm getting sick of that, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you know, just because it's like, bro, you do so much, bro. Like, you got so much value. You know what I mean?
But we're just a sports crazy nation in Australia, so
you're
we
right.
associate NRL with everything. But
Yeah.
like Kalen Ponga's started a clothing brand, and that's stopped as well.
Wow.
So you know what I mean? Like if anyone's gonna do it
How
off the
good's
back
his
of
TikTok,
leverage,
bro?
yeah, cool. He's cool. He's just a cool person, man.
Yeah.
He plays for my favorite team, so
Yeah. Him
but-
and Artie are like doing some good stuff on TikTok. You
They're-
know, in
just
terms
that-
of like their dancing, like they
Yeah.
got their shit on lock, bro.
Yeah, because they can dance as well, and you know it
Yeah.
helps them too. So I think, yeah, Artie's a smart guy, man. He's ahead of the curve and set of content. He's willing to listen as well, so
Yeah.
which is pretty cool.
So keen on learning, bro. And just going back to like May when I
But
came.
sorry. So this is
No,
this is
carry
a
on.
flip out, isn't it? Like we got All Blacks wanting to hang out with us, eh? I find that weird. Like, so like Aaron Smith like inboxed me yesterday. Artie's going to fly over to Sydney just to hang out and learn and stuff like that. And like, you think New Zealand, man, these are the guys. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And they want to hang out with us, so that's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
But and there was like a real sort of realization for me where I really felt that just human connection. When I was exactly what I said at the start, the perception that we put on people is like, they're way up here. But when you actually get to know them, man, they want to hang out with you just as much as you want to hang out with them. And I
100.
think for me, that started to like be like, far out, man. I'm in the right place, or I'm doing the right thing. But bro, doubling back to what I was talking about the podcast in May, like after that one podcast, bro, like shit just went real for me. Like from that point to now, which is like 6 months, I've got 20,000 extra followers, bro.
My man.
Just from that one podcast, and I think so much momentum.
I don't think it's just shed light on like the person who you actually are. Like I already knew you're going to be a gun and you're going to be a success, but just the world just didn't see it yet.
Yeah.
Especially in Australia, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
you had your following over here. All I did was just expose the person who you were, just
Yeah.
a little bit more people, and roll off the back of that. But my favorite thing about podcasting is like people a lot of gone to me, you've broken the cherry. Oh, you've broken my cherry and listen to
Yeah.
podcasts, but now I listen to podcasts all the time.
Yeah,
So I've
yeah.
been the gateway for the people. Then
Right.
that's important to me as well.
Yeah.
Like I don't care if you don't listen to me anymore.
Yeah.
Like as long as you listen to someone.
But that's like Gary's number one thing, eh? Don't come back to a seminar or don't listen
Yeah.
to my podcast there, is because you've got what you needed and now you move on.
He talked about like you've seen me every time. Like I'm going to say the same shit. Like if you go watch like 660, I'm going to play the hits. You
Yeah,
know what
exactly
I mean?
right.
I'm not going to just bring too much new stuff. Like I'm just going to give you what you want.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And how was meeting your idol, bro?
Yeah. I've
For that 15 seconds.
Yeah, bro. Like I kind of knew what he was going to say in the thing because I've listened to so much of his
Yeah,
content.
yeah.
But yeah, that was cool. That was one of like you talk about full circle moments today. That was sort of my one. Like I've had two. One was when I was in Hong Kong. I picked up a camera because I seen a guy Taku Beats. He's a Māori dude. He lives in Perth, but super creative. He used to take mad photos, and I used to always find myself staring at his page.
Right.
I was like, oh, I want to take photos. So that's when I picked up a camera. So essentially that camera led into me like outside of passions, outside of football, which led into filming, which led into making vlogs, which essentially we built our business off the back of. And I remember this one spot and I go, I'm going to go there one day. And I went there and I was like, wow, this is cool. And
Was
now
it with all those windows behind? Yeah.
It's just like this slum area, but it's crazy. Like you look up and like that was sort of my moment. I was like, oh shit, like something like my stomach dropped and I was like, oh, I'm on my way. And the other one was Gary Vee, and the first time I consumed his content, I didn't like him. I was like, he keeps cutting people off. I was like, bro, this dude's annoying.
Yeah.
And then he said something, and it just resonated. And I just started watching him every single day. We started making a vlog a month after I first started listening to him, and fucking shit just scaled from there.
Fuck.
Yeah, so
That's buzzy, bro.
and it was cool. Like I was in line, I got to meet it, and I said, I'm glad people go to me. You're exactly the same on Instagram as you, and that was me for him.
Yeah.
Because it's a saying like you shouldn't meet your idols because you get disappointed.
Right.
That's a saying, and I was.
Was that a saying?
Yeah, bro.
Fuck,
Yeah,
true
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, so and I met him, and like I saw everyone, they could only get like 10 seconds, and they're all trying to say something, bro.
Yeah.
So I knew exactly what I was going to say. I was like, hey, bro, you've scaled my business from boom, boom, boom. Like I gave him like exact numbers. I'm like, I podcast with I've 50 podcasts, like 140 vlogs. I knew just what he wanted to hear. And he goes, that makes me happy. All you got to go is just wider and deeper. And the next day, content, bang, 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 bang. Get that in your face.
Oh, that's so mean, bro. And I was so stoked that you're actually going to see him. And then
you come next week and piss me off. You got to meet him and remember him too. So I don't get jealous, but I was jealous that day.
Bro, that's why you got to do a cookie dance next time, bro.
Be out there on my own. Though. Like, where's the drums?
But bro, it was pretty funny actually, because I knew I didn't want to be one of those guys that are like, bro, can you come on my podcast or anything like that? But I asked my question because I was just feeling overwhelmed with how everything was going. But I was kicking myself because afterthoughts came in, and bro, you immediately popped up in my head, and I was really if I could go back, I would have just sort of mentioned you, just to put that in there.
I'll meet him, bro. I reckon I'll meet him next year or something too. Like something's going to happen. We just got to align ourselves the same way you. Yeah. I just need to write down a goal like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But he does this thing called 4Ds, which costs about $10,000 a day, and it's a 1 day course.
We were speaking about that in Sydney, eh?
But I'll do that straight away. Like, I'll pay $10,000 just to meet him. You know what I mean?
The
ROI on that's good. Yeah,
it's so good, bro.
Yeah.
But like even after that, bro, because me and the bro Honu went and had their handshake and stuff too. And bro, he put on his, we thought he put it on a story. He was like, these are the guys who done the haka. Yeah. And then D-Rock came up to us and he was talking to us and he gave us a follow. And bro, I remember me and Honu were just looking at him like, what the fuck?
Got me over and I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
You motherfuckers.
It didn't go up on the story or anything like that, but it was it was just one of those moments where it was like far out. We actually felt connected in that space. So yeah, bro. And I think for me, actually, because there was Grant Cardone as well as Gary V.
He was good, Grant Cardone.
Bro, fuck. Because me and the bro Hony, bro, we were in the fucking slumps at that time. Like we had no money, bro. We were broke as fuck. And because all of his messaging is all about finance and money. Yeah. And we're just in a real position to really receive that sort of information. So it really started to change the way we viewed money and where we actually want to go. So starting to talk about money more, starting to talk about business more. And bro, I can definitely feel my mind shifting from poor to wealthy.
Yeah, let me try and finish these these sentences. Yeah. Money is the root of all.
Oh, I was going to say causes.
Nah. Have you not heard the saying, money is the root of all evil?
Oh, of all evil.
So, so I was at this course one time and he was saying these quotes and everyone was finishing the sentence. Right. Do you think money grows on
trees?
See, we've grown up with these phases and easy for him, he's got money, you know what I mean? Right, so we've grown up around these circumstances where people talk bad about money. So I forgot what course I was at, bro, and he was talking about the structure of money. There's these 4 principles of them. I can't remember them off the top of my head, but one of them is you don't talk bad about money. Yeah. Because money is your friend. If you talk bad about your friend, he's not going to hang around you. Right. Bro, and look, my girlfriend comes through the door, so I've got no money. Well, you keep saying that. Money's not going to come around you. The other one was structure. Money loves structure. So a structure is shares, a structure is property. So when the share market crashes, it doesn't, money just doesn't disappear. It just wants structure. It just wants somewhere safe. It just wants to be protected. Right. The other thing it loves the saying cash flow, there's a saying in cash flow in business, but this is another term, cash loves to flow. It doesn't like to stay still. So once it's in your account, it should be boom, gone. Right. It should be in investments. It should be in thing. And it loves to appreciate. It loves to grow. Money loves to grow. It doesn't love to stay still. So putting your money into savings is probably not a good idea because when the interest rate's only whatever it is, but inflation's going up, you're losing your money. Right. So after doing that, my money's into a place where once it goes in, it goes out. And I heard someone say you never count your money twice. So once it bounces into your account, it should just flow. And then it should flow into a structure. A business is a structure. Sure. So if you've got money, put money back into your business. Put money into shares, put money in towards a house, put money in towards an investment. Not into
liabilities or a new car or new house or anything like that, eh?
A house is good, but just you don't need material items. But say you need to get an upgrade for your car to tow this. That's into your business because that's essentially a capital good. A capital good is something that can help you grow. So if I bought a hammer, I could potentially build a house off it and generate more money. So that's a capital good. So put it into stuff that's going to either businesses structure, obviously real estate, property, and appreciate it. Don't talk bad about money. I don't have money. So your podcast or style bender, yes, I don't chase money. Money chases me. Yeah. It's the same with girls. You say that about girls. Girls are going to start chasing you. So talk about money the same way you talk about someone you want to hang around with.
Right.
Don't talk shit behind his back because they'll find out and they won't hang around with you. So,
and what do you actually do when you're hearing it from other people? Do you just got to block that shit, or do you got to pull them up on it? Like, what's your take?
I pull my girlfriend up. She's like, "Oh, I'm time poor, I'm money poor." I'm like, "Well, you're gonna stay there if you keep saying that."
And what's her reaction? Like, do you just take the heat that comes with it, or what?
I tell her pretty straight. So I just cop the wrath of it. Like, you know what I mean? So, but like even like, what was I gonna say? Like, oh fuck, what was I gonna say?
Just around money, the relationship.
Oh, sorry. So like on one of my ones now, I had it through the year. Like one of the things I read, I have a great relationship with money. We grow and flow together.
Wow.
That was one of my, and I say that every single day. Do you know what's funny? And when I first wrote down that goal, a week later, 2 guys hit me up to sponsor my podcast.
Right,
it was crazy, bro. And like, so I do this, and like when I'm like, I don't do it all the time, but when I'm at it, I'll rewrite it every single day. Like go boom, 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 every single day. I have a great relationship with money. We grow and flow together. Never talk shit about money. You know what I mean? And Grant Cardone sort of talks about food, like we've grown up, but eat all your food on your plate. You're wasting it. There's people over there starving. That's sort of like a poor mentality.
It is.
He'll purposely not eat the last quarter of his plate because he goes, I don't need it. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
right.
Small stuff like that, hearing from people that are worth $1 billion, there's got to be an element of truth to it.
Yep.
And you are what you speak. And like, I'll go home tomorrow and people go like, I got no money. Like, and I'm like, oh sweet, I'll happily shuttle the boys. Like, I brought back a whole bunch of clothes that we gamble off because I know like giving them money and stuff like that. And whatever successful book you read, the last chapter, it's always about giving back. Like donate a certain amount of your money to either a church. Like if you're religious, give it to a church because it's just good karma. Good karma, you give it away. That's why I wasn't scared to give you $1,000. So I know like it's just going to come back some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
So I don't have a problem with letting go of money because I know it's going to come back. Because I've got a great relationship with money. We grow and flow together. Yeah. And could I be better? Fucking 100% I can. Yeah. But we talked about before how to get multiple streams of income. You don't talk about that growing up. Like, you got your mum that earns her wage, your dad, hopefully both of them, you're a little bit more comfortable if they both can earn a wage. But think about it. Like, imagine if you could earn 3 or 4 different types of income. That's a thought that no one's ever thought of.
Exactly.
Let's go to uni, let's get a good job, and I get paid $80K and 6 weeks holidays or shit like that. And I think that's good, but why accept that? Go, what's a way that I can use my strength or my passion and monetize through another different way? And then once you've got multiple sources of income coming through, you don't really have as many money problems anymore. Yeah. You know what I mean?
You can just be creative. You can be you.
Be creative, bro, and you get time.
Is that the number one stress, bro? Money problems?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know if this is just going against what you're just talking about, but you know.
It is though. Like people like, like I think a lot of marriages break up because of monetary reasons. They don't have enough finance. But if you can't afford to pay for something, it's stressful. Yeah. If you got 2 stressed humans and living in the same house, you're just going to clash. And like, so money doesn't solve happiness, but money solves like money problems, which is the cause of a lot of happiness. So, like now, like I earn good money. Like I probably can earn like a lot more if I've done a lot more things. But like I'm happy, like I'm comfortable. We talked about this, I think, on my last podcast. Is like everyone's in a rush to buy a house. Yeah. But why not have a mad house when you're 40 instead of
long term, bro?
Long term, bro. Yeah. So. It looks cool when you're 22 years old and you're standing out in front of the sign with your missus going, hey, look at us taking on debt. But they're only paying interest on interest-only loans. So to the outside, everyone's going, shit, like they got the house. Like they bought it, but they've just acquired debt. Exactly. Where I had a house, I sold it. I got like $130,000 equity at the back of that. And in the space of 2 years, like I got pretty lucky. So I had $130K sitting in my account. Boom, that money just go, boom, start a business. Yeah. I just put all my money into business because what does money love? Structure. So structure, it loves being appreciated, loves to be talked about, loves to be like girls. Like you talk good about your girl, they feel good about themselves, and it comes back to you. And then flow. So I'm learning flow. I'm still quite erratic with money. Obviously because I've never grown up for it and not that disciplined. Like I love doing shit as well. I can take off whenever I want. So like I do that sometimes. But yeah, those are like that's my thoughts on money now. And it's only changed in like the last year. Yeah. Because when I was stressing about money, right, I was just, how am I going to pay this bill? How am I going to pay like our super? How are we going to pay all this sort of stuff? And bro, it weighs you down, man. If something can weigh you down, it's a money problem.
100%. And I think we're feeling it now, especially like when you're starting a business, you just got a lot of expenses, right? There's money always going out, especially like with this, building it, getting things ready for it. So we're at this sort of stage where money's running dry, but we know that it's going to come back at some point.
Yeah.
But for me, it's just
It's running dry to a good place though. You know what I mean?
exactly right.
You're
And-
not buying clothes and shit.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Well, sometimes we still have food and shit, but you know, you gotta live. We're not like fully like living broke or anything like that. But you know, I've just got this gangster ass long term vision. You know, like man, we're living at home with our parents, but what I'm thinking, like, bro, when we're talking to Hine Pānia in 10, 20 years, we're going to be able to look after our families quite comfortably, and that's what really encourages me. You know, so for me, bro, this is really like a stepping stone into the next decade, and that's what I'm excited about. And what do you feel the important thing is with short term and long term sort of vision, bro? Because so much people are really like in the now, eh?
Yeah. So yeah, obviously you got to have your long-term vision. So with YKTR, how we're going to structure our company next year, and I sort of talked about some of my vlogs, is like you have this massive goal. So for Gary Vee, it's to own the New York Jets. So you have this dream. Yours might to be empower fucking 100,000 Māori men or whatever it is. So that's your like North Star. That's where you align yourself with. And then what you do, you ship it back to like a year goal. So for a business, you got to have monetary goals. Like, say we want to make say $1 million in a year, and then what you do is you break that up into quarters, you break that up into weeks, and then you break that up into daily tasks. A lot of people that follow me see my daily planner. Before I used to fill it up with 20 fucking things, and I used to get a kick out of going, yep, cross, and
Brush my teeth.
just start wake up before the time that I normally wake up. So so I used to just go through those, and I got a kick out of like finishing the day with it, but there was no alignment. So what I do now, I have 3 things in the day that aligns with my weekly goal. So our weekly goals might be to make 50 pieces of content. So my goal for that day is to make 5 or 10 or schedule enough for 2-3 days. And that's one crossed off. The other one is to send out an email that could potentially make revenue for the company. So as a business owner, your job is to make money, is to get cash flow into the business. So my 3 tasks critical to your weekly goal, which aligns with your monthly goal, which aligns with your quarterly goal, which aligns with your yearly goal, which aligns with your North Star.
Bro, that little thing that you done in the Office episode 1, where you actually see you drawing that arrow, bro, that was like fucking mean, bro.
And that's what it is. And like people just go like daily tasks, and they just make shit up. Like I used to do the same. Like work out, boom. So we talked about this before, where people set goals. They set goals of like, I want to run a marathon. The goal shouldn't be to run a marathon. It should be, I want to be a runner. Do you know what I mean? The goal shouldn't be I want to learn a song. So I want to be a musician. Because you know what that is?
Why?
Forever learning. You're forever green. You're forever growing. So you go, I'll run a marathon. Once you run your marathon, you're like, oh, fuck, I've hit my target. Like, what's my new one?
Wow.
Yeah, so I found that like pretty interesting.
Bro, that's cool, bro, because I was coming from a different angle. I see goals as a destination.
Nah.
Wow, so I need to grow.
Yeah.
There's a cap there.
So,
bro, and I was quite confident in that. I was like, what do you think about goals? And they'll say it.
Do you know what?
Because destination, bro, and I feel fucking mean.
Yeah. Because do you know what will happen is like when you hit that destination, you're like I'll be mad, and you're like, oh, is this it? Is this it? Like you've the thrills in the chase, and Gary Vee sort of talks about this all the time. So if you put your thing like I want to be a runner, or like just something like that, or be a mission, like don't be a runner, instead of just running a marathon. Like I don't know, they become forever green, forever learning. Like you look at Warren Buffett, you look at Bill Gates, they spend 8 hours a day reading. These are the richest people in the world, the most successful people in the world, but they understand like they're forever learning, they're forever green. Well, what can you teach a guy that's worth $1 billion, like $50 billion? But he's picking up the same books that we can buy for the same price, and they're spending 8 hours a day reading. So there must be some value in it of just staying forever green. So yeah, it's a little bit different with goals. And I only read this in this book, Atomic Habits. I'm only halfway through it. I was reading it on a plane, but I do really recommend picking that book up because it's one of the better ones I've read in a while.
Far, bro, that's awesome, man.
Actually, let's talk about go back to money and shares. Shares is something that you didn't even hear about as a kid. Like you just think only rich people do it. But if you understand this, the richest people in the world all own shares. So what do I do with my money? I put it into a diversified portfolio. So say every fortnight, a percentage of my income goes into there. Say 20% goes in every single way. So talk about flow. We talk about structure. I'm putting it into a structure, but it's diversified. So 35% of it will be in Australian shares. 35 will be in US shares into their market. The rest is split up between cash and like property, not just houses, but more so like Westfields and stuff like that.
Right.
So if you read a book called Mastering Money by Tony Robbins, he interviews the richest people in the world, and they all do this type of thing. They call it like a nest egg. So it's for long term. So the average return on this is 7%. So this sounds like a lot of money at the time, but this is why I try and build businesses. So if you can get to $2 million in your shares, so say if you build 2-3 successful businesses and sell them off, and you've got $2 million in the bank, in theory, you'll never have to work again.
Is that right?
Off 7%, so you got $1 million in the bank, off 7%, that's $70,000. That comes back into you, so you can use that money, go like that. So say if you get 2 million, you're living off 140 or something like that. So let's go real easy, 5%. That's safe because it's definitely going to get that.
Yep.
And over the course of history, even with crashes, even with the global financial thing, over the course it's maintained at 7%. Sometimes it goes 11, sometimes it goes 5. But if you don't have money in the share market, and it's diversified in a safe way, you actually lose. So it doesn't matter if it crashes because you're going to get it back.
Yeah.
So people don't really talk about this. So if you can get the $2 million off 5%, there's $100K that you can live off at the back of the year. Then what you do, you go to a bank, you go, hey, here's my portfolio. That's going to make $100,000 a year. You get a loan off the bank for $100,000. So if that $100,000 come into my account, that'll get taxed.
Wow.
But so you go to the bank, go, I'll get a loan of $100,000, and you spend all that, which equates to $8,000 a month. Anyone can live off $8,000.
Yeah,
Come on, bro.
yeah.
And you don't have to do nothing, bro. You can sit on the beach, you can podcast
And was
every
that
day.
tax free? The one that you get from
Off the loan,
bank?
because you're going to pay it back through your thing.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So see, my goal is to get to 4 million.
Yeah.
So then potentially whatever that, I could be living off say $200K a year, which is like really good money to do nothing. And then you got
But
time
you won't be
on your
doing
hands.
nothing, eh?
Yeah, I'll get bored.
Yeah.
But like say like
Is that what they call? What's the difference between bad debt and good debt?
I wouldn't
Do you
know.
know?
No, I don't know too much about it.
yeah.
But in the basic concept of rich dad, poor dad, like people buy houses and they go, this is an asset.
Yeah.
But it's taking money out their pocket. So
Right.
they might have a rental property, but they're topping it up $300-400. That's not an asset.
Yeah,
that's a
sure.
liability.
Oh, right.
So people see houses as assets, but they're not. People see car as an asset. It's not.
Yeah.
So a basic form of asset is something that puts money into your pocket. So if you got a house and a rental property and it's putting $50 in your pocket a month, that's an asset.
Wow.
Because you don't have to spend money. It's putting money into your pocket.
into your pocket.
And what rich people do, they don't, like with their acquired income, they don't buy stuff. They buy it off the back of their investments. So say Robert, he's got 100 properties and that tips in say like $50,000 a month. He'll buy stuff off the back of his assets.
Yeah.
But what they do, they get this, I've got my nest egg and it gives me a dividend. So say it gives me $3,000 and then what does money love? Structure. Boom. It just circles back in, bro.
Right.
And it's called compound interest.
It's in flow.
It's called compound interest. So look at compound interest. I think Albert Einstein said it's the 8th wonder of the world. So anything.
Really?
So over the course of, if I put $100,000 in, like right now, and without touching it, it'll double in 10 years, 7 to 10 years, without doing anything. So if you have a kid and you set up the share thing straight away, and like you just top up, say fucking $200-300 a month or a week or whatever you can afford. By the time they get to 18, by the time they get to 50, they're going to be loaded. And if you start looking into shares and you start looking into a thing called like a nest egg, start looking at that. It's pretty interesting. And once you start looking at compound interest, the younger you can start. So someone started at 20, someone started at 30, and I was putting 3 times the amount of money in, I wouldn't be able to catch him.
Wow.
If he maintained it. Because that's
From the age of 20.
Start at 1. Like if someone started at 1 and I started at 30.
Still not.
And I was putting fucking probably 10 times. I can't catch it, bro. It's compound interest. So look up that, bro. It's pretty interesting.
Definitely going to get into it, bro. And at that same Gary Vee seminar, there was this guy, and we went into lunch with Grant Cardone, and this one guy asked Grant Cardone a question, and first thing that Grant said to him was like, what's your net worth? And this guy said 90 million, his net worth. And then he asked this question, and his question was, how do I spend more time with my family? And to me,
seems obvious,
or like the balance, and like, or how does Grant Cardone, factor in his family? And to me, I just really got this deep feeling like, man, this is someone who's actually trying, because sometimes it's easy to get lost, but here's this guy who's got this much money but still cares about his family, and I thought that appealed to me. And as we were shaking hands with Gary Vee, he walked past me, and I just felt this urge. I was like, I gotta go and introduce myself to this guy. And I was talking to someone, and I was like, sorry bro. Sorry bro, I really gotta go and introduce myself to this man. And I went over and I was like, hey bro, just shook his hand. And I was like, you don't know me, I don't know you, but I just really want to say thank you for just who you are, sort of thing. And the first thing he said to me was like, success is your duty. Bro, and that shit just like sunk. I was like, holy shit, you know, that gave me a whole lot of, it empowered me, bro. We didn't even exchange our names, and that was it. I was scrolling on Instagram, his ad popped up, bro.
Yep.
And it showed me that his business, his company is worth 750 million. And I gave him a message. Hey man, it's me. I gave you a handshake towards the end. He remembered me. 2 weeks later, bro, we're having this catch up in Auckland, and he's helping me change my mindset around money.
What did he teach you?
Bro, what he taught me was that...
Oh, I remember this. And he said, don't listen to too many people. Was that one of them?
He said one of those things, or don't listen to too many people because you get too confused. And another thing is he wanted me to think about a product, because he could see that the potential that is in the way that I speak or what I'm doing.
Yeah, top of the funnel stuff's
good.
good.
Yeah. And what he was saying is like, he can see me doing more bigger things, but he said I need a product that can get me into those places, whether it's food, whether it's clothing, whatever it may be. So he was just sort of coming from that angle, because he's saying that I'm underutilizing what I actually have.
Yeah.
You know, so it's sort of like what Gary said to you, go bigger, go wider.
It's more so like for you, it's a sales funnel. Like everything's sort of a sales funnel. Whatever business you go into, like there's a like strategy behind it. So in the e-commerce, if 100 people come into your website, only 1 to 3 are going to buy something.
Right.
So that's called top of the funnel. So obviously a funnel starts wide, it goes lower, lower, lower into potentially a sale. And what he's saying to you is like, you've got a great top of the funnel. You got a lot of people coming into your funnel, but your funnel's getting cut off because there's nowhere they can go and spend money.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna acquire all this information and knowledge, which is important. Where I talked about before, content has to be entertaining and educational. People want to follow you, but you've got nothing to sell at the bottom of it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the same way. That's the reason why we make so much content, and it's so in your face all the time, because. And our strategy is to get you into our funnel, essentially, oh, that's a cool t-shirt, and then add to cart, and then to buy. So people think, oh, I'll go, average e-commerce is 1 to 3%. People go like that, and I go, oh, imagine you get 10,000 people on like that. 300 sales is all right, you know what I mean? So you used to get 300 sales at $100 each, 30K in a day. So you got to think of it like that. So that's all that he was saying to you, and he's definitely right.
Yeah, and because at the moment, bro, I get hit up all the time for like a resource or something like that, and at the moment, I just haven't really like gone to that step. And
do you know what? It's not a bad thing, though, because it's going to get to a point where you've given like 2 years of information for free, right? And when it does come time to sell, like you've almost like squeezed the like hose with the water. So when you do open it, like there's going to be people that are going to want to support you the same way people support me. Like people go like, I don't really like your clothes, but like I love your I love your podcast. Like, forget you don't like our clothes, they're basic. They're like, oh, it's not really my style, but I just want to support you because you've given me so much value in my life in some way, shape, or form. And whether it is entertainment or education, and then like he's fucking spot on, because we're the benefit of that.
Exactly, bro. And bro, something just came to my mind. I got a message probably a few weeks ago. I actually need to respond to the bro actually, but we went to like school together. And bro, I remember when I first started like sharing thoughts, bro, because I had this mean epiphany while I was like traveling in 2016, where I was like, man, I need to change the way that I'm doing things. And I just started reading, started listening to all these motivational videos, and I started to echo what these things are saying. And he says to me, bro, when you first started, I thought you were full of shit. You know what I mean?
Oh, everyone does, bro.
You know, and then I just carried on, persevered. And then he said, like, when I look at you now, like, bro, I just want to commend you because everything that you're saying is like true. And it's sort of like helped him sort of see the process, because we went to school together, doing all the bad things that I was doing, then automatically just doing an ultimate U-turn to where he thought I was full of shit, but now recognizing that those messages that I do share have a bit of substance.
That's the best feeling, isn't it?
Bro,
and like, do you know what? You're not going out of your way out of spite to do it. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like people go like, revenge is best served cold, or like people get like, I want to prove this person wrong. Nah, prove yourself right, and let proving people proving people wrong be the byproduct of that. Because then you're coming from like a place of anger and like, like it works for some people, and I can associate it with sports, but if you go into the mentality like, nah, like I want to like prove myself right and let that be a byproduct, I feel like it's a better way of doing it. It's like less stressful, bro. Like, fucking monkey, just you know what I mean? Roll into it happy,
bro. far. But when you're sort of looking at like your podcast and all that, bro, who are some of the key guests that sort of like stuck out for you?
Yeah, you obviously, like a lot of people come to me like, I don't think I'll enjoy that because they attach you with, like we stereotype people, and like that's why I said you've been able to like transcend so well because you're Moldy, so like plant-based Moldy, like you hear that name and you're not into like veganism or you're from Australia, they're like, ooh. And when they listen to it, they're like, that was like a bit of a game changer for me. The way that I perceive Indigenous over there, I do want to get Indigenous people on.
Bro, I reckon
they're getting. I feel so sorry for them over there, and you can see it in sports. Like you see, like I feel like the media comes down harder on Latrell Mitchell and Cody Walker, and but they're doing silent protests with the anthem and stuff like that. But they're just easy targets, and people are bagging them down. And like I'm not saying like it's due to racism, but I feel like that's a part of it. Yeah. And so that was sort of a big one, like the cultural one. But the way that you're sort of able to inspire people without even turning them vegan, like you sort of talk about having the vehicle, that was really important. Still my second highest grossing one, the Quaid one.
Bro, that was so mean, man. Just hearing his journey, bro. Like, I really, I listened to it a few times.
He's good, bro. And like I said on the podcast, I was like, bro, you weren't smart at school or anything like that. Like, he was a bit of a gangster in that. So. But just to break down the wall and the perception of, and this is the whole reason I built KTown Media, is because I was sick of my friends getting bagged. And then we place these sports people on a pedestal, and like we love to kick the stool out from underneath them and see them like fall and fail. And in Australia and even New Zealand, we get a kick out of it. You know what I mean? The tall poppy syndrome type thing.
And get rid of it, man.
Yeah, the amount of people that come up to me, bro, like, Quay's the man. I was like, well, that's what I was trying to tell you, but I didn't have the platform. Another guy, Daily Chair Evans, he's very similar.
Oh, yeah.
He's very cool dude. Like, he just loves being a dad and being a parent, and like loves footy. Like, I can't say that about everyone in NRL, but he loves footy. Yeah. And he done a backflip on the deal with the Titans a couple of years back, and he's been bagged ever since. Like, he's too polite. Like, he gets bagged because he's too polite. Like, so. That sort of stigma that I'm breaking down the walls, that I'm turning players or professional athletes into actual humans that people care about. That's where it's at for me for the media.
Is that where you say the vision is playing out? Is that because of what's happening at the moment?
Yeah, and letting us be the resource that people get the articles and that from. So the thing I don't like about journalism in both these countries is there's no accountability for poor journalism. So I spoke the other day on my Instagram. I was like, they need like an Uber star rating. Like,
yeah, right.
So, and it doesn't have to be everyone that rates him, but let's say you get a collection of 30 people that have like trusted, that have no attachment to this journalist. If he starts writing articles that aren't true, you can give him a rating. So underneath his name, there should be like a star rating the same way. We jump in an Uber every single day, and like they've got ratings. And when you see that for like 3.5 stars or 4 stars, you're like, next, bro. So there's no accountability, and a journalist can affect a lot more people than a Uber driver can.
100%, bro.
Because they've got the eyes and ears on them. And I think,
bro, do you think people are just believing like way too much as well?
Way too much. We're all headline readers, and we're all guilty of it. You know what I mean? Like, we see the headline and then we make assumptions off the way that we've grown up, and we think we're right, but we're like, a lot of the time we don't really know shit. So
actually, bro, like, we don't know shit, bro.
And I think a lot of people, like, because before I had podcasts, before I had a business, I used to have conversations with a lot of people, and they're like, we used to go for coffees, and people used to be like, oh, bro, I had a mad convo. I feel like, can I hang out with you again? And I feel like my strength for that is because I've read so much, or like life experiences. I've got like a really wide range of perspective of life. So like, I could sit across the road from a table from someone who's deeply religious and have a conversation with him. And even though I'm not into religion myself, like there was never anything spiteful, because I could understand both sides of the story, and I talk about duality all the time. So I don't really get angry at anything, because I can understand where other people are coming from. So I feel like that's really important to me, and I feel like that's what my style of podcast sort of can come across.
Do you plan any podcasts, bro?
Nah.
That's what people always ask me too. It's like, bro, do you plan? I'm like, nah, man. You just got to keep that stuff original, because people feel it and sense it.
Yeah, and those first couple of ones are kind of hard, because like you're like going, yeah, and then like it'll stop, and you're like. You start thinking about your next question. But the hard thing about podcasting is, so like when I hear someone talk, say you're talking about something, like I'll find the one word and I'll attach myself to that one word, and then that's my next question. And I always talked about this. I always wanted my podcast to be authentic as possible. Sometimes I do have a run sheet. People like to run off run sheets.
Travy's
one of them, bro. He's like fucking bullet point 1, bullet point 2. But like my one sort of look like that, where I'll go like background, like and then let it expand off the back of that. It's not like bullet pointed and all that.
All right, bro. So you're back here in New Zealand. So how's it been back with family?
Yeah, good. I was saying before, like I think I appreciate it a lot more when I'm coming down now, and I've been in Australia for so long that. Like, when you hear Whakatane, because there's jokes around it with Benji Marshall, and kind of comes off as a rough place. I was driving through the joint. I was like, this is nice around here. And that's the first thing I said to you.
Little gap there, you're like, oh, surely.
100. So, and I think, I like, even though I love Australia, I love everything it's been able to give me in Sydney, and I can't see myself moving from Australia back here. I appreciate it a lot more. I think I appreciate the type of people a lot more. Just a lot more welcoming, and like I'm a product of Sydney now. Like you said, like we were driving and there was this massive gap. It was about 150 meters long, and the lady I was like, surely, and that's Sydney, bro. That's like, but we can fit in 3 cars in there. So it takes me a time to adjust back, but I do love being around like mum and dad, and like I've been. Like when I look back at it, and Gary Vee talks about how he was raised, right? I was raised really, really well. Grew up in a rough area, but I was never exposed to that. But I could see enough of it just in the distance, or through my friends, or the types of people I went to school with. So I think you appreciate your family a lot more as you get older. Yeah,
bro, and shooting back to Toke for one of those little annual sort of festive things that you guys got going on.
So started it's called a tour to Tokeroa. We sort of just. All my friends, they weren't allowed to go out on Christmas Eve anymore because got kids, missus won't let them, all that sort of type of small town shit. So I started up this thing, and the Saturday just before, we go on like a bike tour. So we spend 40 minutes at every house. You have to provide like 50 beers, drink them. After 40 minutes, you ride to the next one. There's games there. I bring a whole bunch of YKTR clothes back, so all the boys are gambling for. There's playing like little drinking games and stuff like that for clothes. This is the 4th year, so it's probably my favorite day of the year too. So
awesome, bro.
Not many times you can hang around sort of the people you grow up with.
And then after that, you're already looking forward to 2020. Do you feel like it's going to be something like just growing, bro?
Yeah. When we talked about before, when I said I met Gary Vee, just go wider and deeper. I think that's me next year. Not so much looking at all the bright stars and shiny shit that come with being like an entrepreneur and people knowing you and people offering you equity in your business. Just fucking focusing on what's right, what's right by YKTR, myself, and it's always a thing of growth. Like, where were you this time last year?
Where was I this time last year? But I think
Friday before Christmas.
I can't even think, bro. It really does feel like a long time ago, but then just because so much has happened. But I think I knew that 2019 was going to be sort of something big. And like at the time, I thought these were like pretty extreme goals. But when I'm sort of like at this stage now, it feels like this is real. 2019 has been a building phase for me, where I feel like I'm going into something a bit bigger in 2020, whether it's going hard out with this food trailer, slamming out more podcasts, but even just, the feeling of just getting engaged, that's building into like a pinnacle of being married, so I feel like next year is going to be sort of building for me.
See, my ultimate underlying fear has been in exactly the same spot as I was last year. So like, look at you from this year to last year, but if you're still sitting in the same spot and you haven't achieved any of your goals, even though you might be sitting in your dream trailer, it won't, like, you'll feel bad about yourself, about yourself, you know what I mean? So for me, it's that. And like, I have monetary goals. Like, I want to be earning this much, not because I love money, but I just love the chase of a goal. I might even start throwing in some travel. Like, I've got travel goals. Like, I want to explore like 3 new places next year because traveling's like the ultimate for me.
It's the ultimate educational sort of thing that you can do, bro?
100%.
And I don't think it's sort of like, when we're sort of talking about education, it's not like maths or anything. It's really what you learn about life. When I went travelling throughout Southeast Asia, man, I just saw so much gratitude. Having nothing, but they're really grateful for what they did have. That really started to make me think about, what am I grateful for? And that's like a lifelong lesson that you can just really utilize.
I've got thoughts on that because
what do you reckon?
Because who was it? I think Naval said disease doesn't come from scarcity, it comes from abundance. So too much of something, and I thought that really, really resonated with me. So like, I see kids. Like, I've talked to parents and like, my kids are like playing. They ask me about parenting advice. I don't got kids. It's fucking weird. But they're like, this one wants this for dinner. Like, he only likes chicken for dinner. This one will have like a toasty for dinner. And I was going, no, you're giving them too much options, so that they get like carried away. You know what I mean? So you go to like a small, like, there's this there's this photo of this little girl in an African village, and she's trying to offer a lollipop to the person filming it, and like it's the only lollipop she's had, but she understands.
Wow.
And if you look at all those like shows when they go to those really abundant places or really barren and they got nothing, the kids seem so much happier.
Yeah, you're
you go to small towns, the kids seem more happier. The kids that have got a wharf to bomb off and a bit of water and like, bro, food at home, bro, they're a lot happier.
Yeah.
But we were happy in Take. We didn't have much, bro. We used to go to the pools and get fish and chips and like get $1 drink and like couldn't share lips and stuff like that. But we were happy as kids. So
do you reckon because of the technology, do you reckon there's so much more entitlement now?
yeah, a lot of entitlement. Like a lot of parents blowing up at kids, but like the parents are the ones that are raising them as well.
Exactly.
And then a lot of
Accountability,
accountability, but a lot of contrast bias. So we didn't have internet to look at. So bro, who was a cool dude at school, bro? Who was a cool dude at school? So instead of us looking at the cool dude in school, we were like, who's a cool dude in the whole world? So there's this contrast bias of comparing each other. But like I remember when I was a kid, I was like, mum wants for dinner, like get what you're given or starve, or like that was it. Like if you didn't eat, like you weren't going to get food. It's not bad parenting. It's just it's just like what it is. And she was sort of talking about my nephews the other day. Like she goes, you get to pick one thing from the dairy, and like that's it. And the youngest one, he's 4 or 5. He's still sort of testing his limits, and he wanted like 2 or 3 things, and sort of just that argument. She goes, "You're not going to get everything you want. Like get used to it."
And that's perfection right there, bro. You need those sort of like guidelines, for sure.
And just the option of like you learn from pain.
Yeah,
like the pain.
I believe that, bro.
Pain of growth. So like if that oven's on and I'm a kid and it's on fire and I put my hand on it and it burns, I'm like, oh shit, like don't do that again.
Not gonna do that again.
Yeah, and so like when you grow up, like obviously like getting a hiding was a little bit more tolerant. I never got like mad hidings or anything, but it was definitely an option.
Bro, I remember, bro, this one time, like, bro, I got caught stealing, you know.
Oh, no, bro.
There was like this countdown here in New Zealand, and then before that, do you remember Price Chopper?
Nah.
Price Chopper was like before
we fancy
countdown.
intake, bro.
Bro, but I remember I got caught stealing Snickers and a Mars bar, bro, and like I went to go and get something, and I had the counter, the cashier person, what's in your pocket? And I was like, got it, had to show her. And bro, it was a big, huge drama. Like they called in the police. I had to go and wait in this room. The police took me home, bro, and Dad was home, And man, like I remember getting out of the cop car. The cop got out. Dad came walking down the driveway. I was sort of like laughing in a way, like shit, you know. And then the cop left, bro. I walked in front of Dad, walked in the house, and boom, just gave me this gangster kick up the ass, and I literally left the floor, bro.
Yeah.
And I ran into my room, but from that day, bro, I never stole again. You know, because
learn from pain,
bro. You learn from pain.
Do you know what's funny, bro? You're telling that story, but my stomach's dropping because like that same shit would have happened to me when I was like 16, 17. I got caught trying to climb through a girl's window. Yeah, and mum go, "Wait till you get home. Your dad's waiting." Same thing, bro. Yeah. And I was drunk too, so trying to be all lippy and that. He got up, bro. Went to go, and that was the closest I got to like a proper hiding. But like I said, bro, it was an option. Yeah, and like I've got friends over there, and they haven't grown up with that sort of like father figure now. Yeah. And like I go out all the time and get drunk, but like my autopilot's almost into the point where like I can get drunk as I want, but when I get home, like I get home safe every time. I don't get in drama. Right. I don't get in fights. I got out 100 times and not get in one fight or one argument. You know what I mean? Because I've got that sort of
control on you, or you just got that vibe coming out from you that you're just there for the good time.
Just not just that, but just like because I knew if I was young and I went out and fucked up, like I'm getting in trouble. Sure. And instead of getting in trouble from your mum, you get in trouble from bigger like things, say police. But you get into a fight, like all that sort of stuff. It just your parents become like police and stuff like that.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, like just an abundance thing, man. Like we got too much, and like I've got too much, and like even though I'm a pretty happy guy, like I still think like I'd love to do that. So I think like next year, we were talking about earlier, like going over and helping people. But that recenters you, bro. I remember when in football we used to go to kids' hospitals when the kids got cancer, but that sort of stuff realigns you back on where you need to be and start complaining about stuff that doesn't matter.
But I remember,
red lights.
I remember too what made me like rethink things wasn't that my old man was angry, or was just the feeling of
letting them down,
just that disappointment feeling. Like, bro,
I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed.
Bro, it's like that's like heart-wrenching, you know what I mean? So for me, bro, one of the biggest things that I've identified about myself this year was I have a big insecurity around people thinking I'm a bad person. You know, that's like a real insecurity.
Oh yeah, I remember that, bro. Yeah, you were cut, eh?
Yeah, bro. Like, you know, when people like think that their perception of me is bad. Like I get insecure about that. And I remember talking to Jordan about it actually, and he saw it. Like he could see and sense in me that there was an insecurity. So because of how much of a deep and feelings person I am, bro, when I think about my past, man, I really, really don't want to end up back there.
Yeah.
And that's why I have that insecurity, because of where I am now. I don't want to go backwards.
How do you get rid of it?
I think it's just first, I always feel getting over something, you first got to acknowledge and identify what it is.
Yeah.
So I'm in that process at the moment, and bro, like I'm all good. But it actually came down to this point where me and Hinipania, we were going through something, and like she wanted to know about my past, and bro, I had to really like share a whole lot of stuff. And bro, I went down into this sort of like deep place because I went into how much of a bad person I actually was. And it took me actually a little while to like come out of it, bro. And I think that's where I started to identify that, damn, it's an insecurity of mine.
Would you change anything that you've done?
Nah, no way.
No
You
way.
know,
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
that bloody, you know that cheesy ass sort of saying, bro.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
but I wouldn't. But you know, there's still, you know, there's the first 7 to 10 years of your life, you know, that's where the majority of your habits as well as your personality comes out from. And I went through this gangster ass healing sort of journey like a few months ago, where I sort of uncovered this memory that I had, and that was only one memory that has been a blockage for me. And think about how much memories you have from your first 7 to 10 years, you know, so that's only one blockage, and it had to do with something pretty significant. And now I've healed from that, and now it's something, this is the new journey that I'm on. But bro, I feel like good about myself and things like that, but I genuinely feel, bro, that we all got stuff to heal. We all got stuff to grow from, you know.
So you talk about that. You talk about healing a lot.
Yeah,
Like,
bro.
I only see healing as like I got cut and then like a scar comes over. Bro. So and like I'm pretty lucky because I haven't struggled with mental health.
Yeah.
I had a great family growing up. Like my parents like been together. You know what I mean? I've had a really good upbringing. So I don't understand. Well, do you want to talk on healing? Like I don't get it. Like
bro,
I don't get it.
Like for me, when I talk about healing, like I see healing in myself, but because I'm deep as well as I feel, like I see a lot of hurt, especially here in New Zealand, bro. There's so much
What's the type of hurt?
like a type of hurt is like struggling financially. A type of hurt is not having a father figure. And, you know, I'm associated with people who are in these spaces. So you feel that, you know. And so also, you know, when I'm talking about father figures, it's like men who have been incarcerated. It's sort of like, you know, being abused. It's all these types of things that you might... There's some instances where you don't know the person physically or personally, but there was this one instance where I done this thing in Opotski College, just over in Opotski, and these group of students, they were given a task to say, do a project for your community. And one of the projects was this drug sort of... this drug awareness type of thing, and it was to try and heal their families from putting needles in their arms. So what that actually told a whole lot of people who were in that room is that these kids are actually seeing that stuff in their household. You know, so
What do you put in your arm? Like,
well, it's sort of like meth.
it's like meth. Oh,
It's
okay.
like meth, crack, all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And these are like small rural communities, bro. And, you know, when we're sort of, because I'm here and because I go around to different places, it's happening everywhere.
Oh, really? Yeah.
You know, so
Sad,
that's what we're talking about. Healing is like we need to heal our people, but in terms of healing our people and our, you know, where we are, there's still a lot of healing that we need to do. And this year, bro, I've been able to overcome so much shit that I needed to release in myself. Because if I want to try and heal other people, you got to come from a place of like a full cup, you know what I mean, bro?
Yeah,
But if I'm trying to like help other people and I got shit that I need to work on, that's just like I'm giving advice that I should be taking. You know what I mean?
So, like, we were talking about it before when we were having a coffee. Like, people look at us, or like you said, you look at me, and you feel like you got your shit together. But you're asking me the questions. I sound as erratic as ever. You know what I mean? So, do you want to touch on that as well, like for you? Because people would have seen that you've got your stuff together.
Yeah, 100%, bro. Like, you know, social media, we share with what we want to share. You know, we share what we want people to see. We share the vulnerabilities that we have after we've gone through it. It's pretty hard to share something once you're in it. So for me, like if people have this perception that, you know, I've got a real good outlook on life or that I'm pretty grounded, bro, you ask Kinipani and she sees me at my worst. You know, she sees me when I'm absolutely drained. She sees me when...
Are you moody when you're drained?
Bro, I'm a pretty moody kid, bro.
I'm the same as me, because everyone sees me on my story, like, let's go.
Yeah.
But that shit's draining, man.
Bro.
And if you're knocking out 6 weeks of work and, bro, and you hit the wall, and our partners have to put up with that as well.
Bro, exactly, bro. They see the grunt of it. And there was a period of when, you know, that group of men, when we went into this weekend together...
Is that like top secret, or are you guys open and shit about it, or what?
Open about it, you know.
Not the secret society or anything, bro.
Nah, bro. But we understand that that's a real special place, because when we walked into that room, it wasn't about you leave all your status at the door. You come in and you be you, because quite often, bro, like you might not recognize this, but you'll understand it. That when you're out in this place of, you know, online, you're trying to help, you're trying to serve. There comes a time where you look to your side, who the fuck is helping me?
Yeah, bro,
know?
all the time.
You know,
bro.
so that for us was like, well, we're here to help you.
Yeah.
You know, we've created this space where, bro, I'm feeling this, I'm going through this. That's a space for us to be like, can you help? And they're always there. So you know what I mean? We're all going through shit.
Yeah. We were setting up something similar over in Australia, but it's more so business related, because obviously you're moving into business, but you can't talk to business with a lot of people, bro, because they don't really understand it.
Yeah.
And it's business in a modern way that's sort of built off the back of Instagram and a personal brand and how you monetize off that. So there's not too many people you can talk about that in your group of friends. So, but then with that healing thing, like you said before, like I wouldn't fit in, because I'm just like I'm so comfortable in my skin with who I am, with what I've done. Like people go to me, like all trolls go, but you're just an average football player. I was like, 100. And it kind of just kills it straight away. But I actually agree with you, man. I was average as fuck. And then, so because I'm so comfortable in that, and like I don't mind conversations that are really deep. I do love getting it, how it makes the other person feel, and that makes me feel good at the time. It's kind of like a selfish reason, but like I don't want to be in deep convos and shit all the time, because that's just not me. That's you. You know what I mean?
Bro, I got honest, like I said, bro, I find extreme comfort in that place. But I had to really check myself, because when I was going around and doing like youth events and stuff like that, I'd take some men away, some young men, and
were struggling a bit,
or I'll just have time with them, because how we know how, you know, we like how we have different guests, you know, we have males and then we have females. Talking with females is totally different to talking with males.
100.
You know, you can just connect differently. So I decided that perhaps maybe if I separate the young men, we'll be able to connect in a different way. But I checked myself earlier, because I'd go into this deep space and be like, I know we got something going on here. What are some of the things that you're struggling with? And some real horrific stuff coming up, you know, I'm cheating on my girlfriend, or, you know, I've gone to this dark place. And for me, when I say I need to check myself, is because I'm supporting them in that space. But when they go home, who do they have? But now they're dealing with what they've brought up. You know, so for me now it's just about, maybe I don't go into that space, but I try and create sustainable support. You know, it's quite a tricky. It's a really because
it's circumstance by circumstance.
Bro, exactly right. Context. You know, and I can be there, I can facilitate, I can help, but it can only go so far, because it's only in that moment in time. The real healing happens when you're away from the support. You know, when you don't. Bro, and one of the things
it reminds me of like going to the gym. Like you might go to the gym for 30 minutes, but then you the rest of your day continues. You know,
bro,
what I mean?
exactly
you can fuck up more in the rest of your day than that whole workout itself. So I understand exactly where you're coming from.
Bro, and one thing that Jordan said, because like I said on your previous podcast, a whole lot of my learnings and growth has come from bad relationships. And I was talking with George, and he was sort of saying, bro, if one of your exes came in the room, would you be comfortable? And I was like, fuck, no, I don't think so. Well, you're not healed. Real healing is like, of the person or the situation that happened that caused that hurt. If that person or an event happened similar, would you be comfortable in it? If you're comfortable, that shows a sense of healing.
Yeah. Oh, I think I'm naturally lucky. See, like if I caught up with any of my exes, I could go up there and say hello. Like I'll go for lunch. I could go like we were talking about just before. Like one of our exes that we both know. Like I could message her mum or dad and go, oh hey, do you want to go for a coffee? Because there's no resentment to it. We broke up and we're both better people for it, and we're both in like different relationships. So that's like,
bro,
I must have just been lucky, bro.
Has that always been you?
I've always like I'm not overly jealous type of person. Like I've always loved people seeing people do well. especially when they've worked hard,
Yeah.
even if when they were in the same position as me, even when I was getting dropped from football sides, like I could see the bigger picture, I was like, oh, like he's the one who's killing it, so like he deserves a shot. And there was no resentment towards that whatsoever. I don't know why. Like I can't like
just wired that way, eh?
Yeah, maybe, but you can't, you're not just wired. Like when you come out when you're born, you have two fears, fucking loud noises and falling over. You know what I mean? But everything else is installed through somewhere.
Yeah.
Like if you're a negative person, it's just that voice has come from somewhere. If you're positive, that's come from somewhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what. Like I think I might have just landed on my feet a little bit.
Bro, that's awesome though, bro. Like, and I really do appreciate that about you, bro. Like, always get that sense, bro. Like, feel extremely comfortable. I always feel charged up. It's crazy that we've only met twice, bro.
Yeah, but I was thinking that on the way in, like I'll meet you like the second time, obviously, but like I'm just excited to see you. Flying back here, like I don't drive to Whakatane for anyone, you know what I mean, or drive anywhere for anyone. And my mates that I'm catching up tomorrow, I've known since I was 4, 5, like 10. Like they're my best, and I'm excited to see them. I'm excited to, so yeah, it's been important. Hey, look, what about? It's not really fame, but people come up to you. How you've because you wouldn't have had to dealt with that in previous life, would you?
Nah, bro. It's quite funny. Like people know me as the plant-based Māori. Hey, plant-based Māori. Like they don't know my first name. Branding, eh?
Yeah.
But for me, bro, I'm always like, I always just show gratitude. Like thanks or what do you like about the journey?
Yeah.
You know, because that opens them up. And like I try, like I said, food is just a bridge to people. Content, Instagram is a bridge to people. So I always try and take that opportunity to show gratitude, but to also recognize and try and help them in that space if they need help, or it might be just a simple hello.
Yeah,
sort of like how we're at sushi. You know, I didn't even know that guy.
Bro, when you were getting the coffee today, I was out on the road and this cuzzy goes, hey. I was like, hey, bro, what's going on? So yeah, it is weird. And like we were talking about it before, the difference between like being a sports player and like obviously getting recognised was like not uncommon to me, but just the type of recognition it is a lot different. Yeah. And I spoke to you on my last podcast. We talk about like I've had people with like contemplated suicide, and that's a different level of like. And I haven't quite figured it out. I think it's maybe because I was only like one of 13 on the field at the time, where me is just kind of me at the moment. Yeah. And as if you didn't know football, you didn't know like who I was, or do you know what I mean? Where the stuff we talk about now is relatable to a lot of people, and relatable to a lot of people that you think aren't listening as well. So that's like, I've had like old ladies come up to me and like, what's your language? Like shit like that. Yeah. So, but like I try and be. Like people go to me like, why do you show yourself drinking? Like you're meant to be a role model. I'm like, oh, like just who I am. Like I'm gonna drink on the weekend. So that's why like I don't mind posting shit when I'm blind and carrying on, because when like people come up to me when I'm blind, like I'm just gonna be exactly the same. There's no walls around. I'm not pretending that I don't go out to be a business person. Like you can be a business person, go out, carry on. For me, because I love to do that. And then people come up to me and it's not a surprise because they've seen it. Oh, you shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be doing that. And I sort of found that in football, like you kind of had to hide who you truly were to fall into line with a lot of things. But it's cool, man. Like podcasts, man, like I feel like they're going to change the world, and you're going to be the guy over here, I reckon.
I believe that, bro. But like, bro, you're a bit of a crack up when you are blind. You know, you're getting used to this mic too much there, bro. Watch out, man.
Yeah, I always tell Volley, I'm not getting on, get too drunk. Oh, give me the mic. Carrying on like it's a podcast and people want to listen, but flat as.
Bro, but where did the kettlebells main come from, bro? Like, do you just work out? Is that like your actual routine?
I'm not even in shape. Like, that's my goal for 2020 is to get in shape, bro. Like, I weigh about 98 kgs now. I played at 91, so I'm like 7, but I need to get lower. But I don't know. Like, I bought some kettlebells, and Clint Garvison and Corey were taking the piss out of it. Yeah. And like we used to always say something like, "Where's the whatever it is?" And it just sort of rolled, and nothing like YKTR. You know, there's nothing. There's no cool story behind it. Doozy, same shit as Doozy. It's just one of them things that you hear enough and then becomes a thing. So, and we've kind of built our business off the back of it.
Fuck, amazing, bro.
We've thought about just making up a random word and giving it a meaning and see if it can roll. Like we've thought about that, so to see what type of influence you have. So it's been crazy.
It'll catch, bro. Especially like with the characters that you follow.
Like look at William Cribb. You look at like Johnny Danger when he's alive. Like even Jordan. But people just want to attach themselves to something or someone. And like people people need someone to align themselves with, and like whether it's me, whether it's you, whether it's thing, like it's important. And I feel like it's kind of becoming a lot cooler. Oh, you know when you're a little bit older, and it's kind of not cool to like go up to someone and go, oh bro, that's like, I think we're breaking down those walls now, because you do it straight away. Like you said, you see that guy walk past, like I do the same too. But if I see someone cool, it's like, bro, can I get a photo with you? And like, and so I think we're breaking down that walls. Like you don't have to be fucking 28 and have your shit together. You know what I mean, and have all the answers. Because I'm 31. People come to me advice, but I don't know. I know a little bit to answer their questions, but I don't know in the context of life. I don't know fuck all. And I understand that. I think you understand that as well. That we sort of spoke about before. Your goal shouldn't be to be a marathon runner. It should be to be a runner. Full stop. So you're forever green. You're forever learning. So I feel like we're in that place, and I feel like I'm grateful that's happened to us a little bit older. If I was 20 years old and my KTL was at where it's at, like I'd be doing some different things. I'd be acting in a different way. So I'm glad it's happened to when it has.
Oh, bro, honestly, and you're doing some amazing stuff, bro. Like, we've been chopping it up for, like, at least an hour and a half, bro. Like, we could literally go on for days. But honestly, bro, it's just been so good catching up, bro. Like, we've gone on this massive, like, roller coaster, reflecting, looking at to where we want to go, talking about some pretty subjects that need to be spoken about, such as money, relationships.
It's a diverse conversation, isn't it?
Yeah, hard out. Bro, and honestly, I just want to, like, fucking, shout out to Alice, bro. Like, I was actually gutted that she wasn't coming through because, bro, she was like really enjoyed my time in Aussie.
Yeah, she loves you.
Bro, it was like actually crack up, bro, because before I came over, you were here, eh?
Yeah.
You were here, and I was like, do I want to like reach out and let him know? But like, I was like a little bit on the fence, but I'm glad that I left it because when I saw you, I was like, damn it, he's here. I could have just like waited here. But I'm glad things have
save some money.
But I'm glad things have played out the way they are, bro, and I consider you to be like a really good friend.
Thanks,
a
bro.
mentor,
I appreciate that.
Someone I look up to. But there's that saying, never above, never below, always beside.
Before this wraps up, I just want to say I'm proud of you of everything you've done. There's not too many people that have done what you've done off the back of advice, and bro, I'm very, very proud of you. And like you said, I'm proud to call you a friend.
Bro, I appreciate it, brother.
My man.
Yeah, let's go.
Cool, bro, man.